Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day to all. My name is Siti Aisyah binti Zulkifli from class 5K. So today I'm going to present about one of the sustainable development goals, which is known as public health and well-being. Sustainable development can be defined as maintaining the development over time. However, there are possibly hundreds of definitions of the term currently in circulation, many divergent interpretations, and thousands of various applied in practice by Gibson 2005. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the needs of future generations to meet their own needs by Brundtland 1987. Public health and well-being refers to ensuring good healthy lives and promoting the well-being at all ages is essential to the sustainable development. By focusing on providing more efficient funding of health system, improving sanitation and hygiene, increase the access to physicians, and more tips on way to reduce ambient pollution, significant progress can be made in helping to save the life of millions. Some examples of organizations such as the United Nations High Commission for Refugee, Unhcr, Malaysian Medical Relief Society, Mercy, and United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, provides better health services to the people in order to guarantee healthy lives for future generations. The United Nations High Commission for Refugee, UNHCR, is mandated to safeguard the rights and well-being of refugees and asylum seekers worldwide. It strives to ensure that everyone can exercise the right to seek asylum in another country and rebuild their lives and safety and dignity. Alright, move to the second presenter. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I start, I will introduce myself. My name is Azarina binti Mak Saleh and I'm from class 5K. I would like to introduce you about initiative of public health and well-being of United Nations High Commission for Refugees, or in short we call it UNHCR. As in the aftermath of World War II, the United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees, which is preferred to be called UNHCR, was established in 1950 to assist millions of Europeans who had fled or lost their homes. In Malaysia, there are 179,510 refugees and asylum seekers registered with the UNHCR as of in the September of 2021. There are 154,880 people from Myanmar, including 103 and 30 Rohingyas, 22,470 Chinese, and 29,370 people from the other ethnic groups who had fled persecution in Myanmar. Next, the first initiative that can be seen in the goals of public health and well-being of UNHCR in Malaysia is to avoid and maintain protection against sexual exploitation, abuse and harassment. UNHCR's top focus is to combat sexual exploitation and abuse of people with sport, as well as sexual harassment in the workplace. As we know, sexual exploitation has become one of the hot topics in Malaysia. It is same goes to the sexual harassment. For instance, both are used to happen in Malaysia. One of ways taken by UNHCR in this program ensure that end-to-end victim-centered approach is streamlined in the all UNHCR practice and procedures concerning sexual misconduct. To be more specific, strengthen and organize disclosure and reporting mechanism to ensure that the victims and witnesses have access to get supportive assistance and true information that will enable them to make educated decisions about their alternative. Other than that, enhance victim protection and assistance by ensuring that all policies, support, and resource systems are coordinated and driven by a victim-centered approach that inspires trust and confidence. Next, equip and empower UNHCR and partner personnel to prevent, identify, and respond to sexual misconduct, in which to ensure that UNHCR and partner employees can recognize and understand the impact of sexual misconduct, as well as to be ready to prevent and respond to misconduct through learning and awareness raising initiative. Another initiative came from UNHCR as to maintain public health. As we know, for refugees to be able to rebuild their life, they must have a good health. Years of decades of forced relocations, on the other hand, can have considerable impact on an individual's health and well-being. In addition, the UNHCR public health programs assist refugees in maintaining their health. UNHCR collaborates with governments and partners to offer emergency medical assistance, improve local health care, and integrate refugees into national health systems and plans. The United High Commissioner for Refugees, or prefer to be called UNHCR, works to promote the health and well-being of refugees by addressing all their needs. They begin by addressing public health from a variety perspective, including lobbying and inclusions in health policies and systems, enhance access to health care, nutrition, water, sanitation, and hygiene, which is known as WASH service, healthy living promotion, and data collection and analysis. For instance, the novel coronavirus pandemic is the greatest public health crisis in the world has faced in over a century, in which, while everyone is at danger of catching the virus, refugees are more vulnerable, as they frequently live in the overcrowded conditions with limited access to hygiene and sanitation facilities, soap, and other protection measurements. For the next presentation, I would like to pass to Muizzuddin. Thank you.
Thank you Azrina for the impressive presentation. Assalamualaikum to Medin Hazaria. My name is Muizzuddin bin Abdulkadir Jilani with metric number 2019205466. The next presentation is continuation of the initiative undertaken by UNHCR Malaysia. Besides that, United Nations High Commissioner of Refugees UNHCR Malaysia initiative towards sustainable development is through education, especially refugee children in Malaysia. Refugee children are frequently denied a normal upbringing due to their exile, and they are denied to access to the formal education system. Therefore, they do not obtain education through a formal parallel system like children who not have their right denied. To help refugee children in education, they need the right teachers to teach them. As a result, sequential teacher training programs were developed in order to accomplish the fundamental credentials in a short period of time. Teaching reading and numeracy skill, formative evaluation of children learning, participatory pedagogy, and inclusive education are all emphasized in the training. This training program will be modular and adjustable, including in-service training, advice, and peer groups assistance for instructors who want to refresh their abilities. Short-term training and para-professional courses will be used to improve professional competence and use refugee teachers as much as feasible. As a consequence, they are able to train instructors who can work with refugee children. Next is UNHCR Malaysia and the UN Refugee Agency cooperate with NAMA Foundation to empower refugee youth in Malaysia through education over a period of 3 years. Approximately RM136,000 funds will be used to ensure educational continuity. with a focus on linked education, particularly for refugee youth whose education has been disrupted by COVID-19. The Nama Foundation and Unhcr Malaysia has helped by sending donation to more than 25 UNHCR-run refugee learning center that provide secondary education, benefiting at least 1,600 refugee adolescents. The funds will be used to ensure educational continuity with an emphasis on appropriate education, particularly for refugee adolescents whose education has been disrupted by COVID-19. Lastly, the initiative by UNHCR Malaysia is Livelihoods Program in Malaysia. Among the main problems of refugees is that they lose their livelihood, shelter and leadership. Therefore, it has been the responsibility of UNHCR Malaysia to help with livelihoods and self-sufficiency program such as capacity development and skill development, project management, leadership training and grant support. The UNHCR focus on three-pronged approach in its attempts to increase self-reliance among target population, with their specific action falling under individual or household efforts. The second type of project is community mobilization. The next point to consider is networking and coordination. The action of the past and current livelihood programs are explained in greater detail in the result section. For instance, among the livelihood program run are growth of artisanal and talents, development of entrepreneurship, and monetary aid with multiply purpose. The livelihood initiative is targeted at the city centres of Selangor, including Kuala Lumpur and its surrounding areas, as well as Penang. The impact of this program is UNHCR Malaysia can move in towards prudent social cohesion and peaceful coexistence. Besides that, UNHCR Malaysia can increase its lobbying efforts with the government and the commercial sector to strengthen the enabling environment. That's all from me, and the next presentation I will pass to Azril.
Assalamualaikum to Madam Hazaria. My name is Azril Najmi bin Norzi. I will continue these presentations with the contribution of UNHCR. The first contribution is they has collaborated with various parties such as governments, non-governmental organizations, United Nations agency, community-based organizations, universities, and the private sector. From the collaborations, now they have over 140 partners, and they are working together because with one purpose, which is to protect and help this refugee and pursue lasting solutions. Therefore, they cooperate with each other to enable refugee to access an effective, safe and affordable health service. In turn, the health of all these refugees can be well taken care of, and also does not affect the health of the local people. In addition, to help this refugee access more health service, the health unit under the UNHCR has introduced a medical insurance scheme known as Remedy. This insurance will be given to refugee in needs, and it aims to ensure that refugee with health problem can be given a treatment. This insurance serves as a platform to provide a special protection to refugee to get treatments, and minimal financial costs are charged to them. Thus, the introduction of insurance shows that the UNHCR is very concerned about the health of refugee and show that there is one responsible body in the world.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To our lecturer, Madam Hazaria. Before I continue this presentation, let me introduce my name. My name is Muhammad Imran bin Muhammad Noor, and I'm also will present to you about UNHCR contribution. Before I continue this presentation, thank you to the Azrael because have present the previous point about this contribution. Okay, so let me start this presentation to the first point of UNHCR also has a focus about education for refugee children. This is because education is an important thing to ensure well-being for refugees in the future and help them to prevent them from being oppressed. This is also by having a education, it helps refugees improve their life for the better way. For example, they have their knowledge and education department under the supervision of the UNHCR has worked with a total 30 partners and with 128 community learning center to help provide one education center of the use of all the refugees community. We go to the last point of contribution UNHCR, which is UNHCR has established a global operation to give emergency help to refugees in need. This is because to meet this and other operational demand, UNHCR has established a global system of vendors, expert agencies, and partners. This is because sending emergency team to the scene of a disaster as well as giving emergency food, shelter, water, and medical supplies are examples of the project. This is because emergency aid is the UNHCR first move toward long-term security. Besides that, refugees are allowed to live in a country with a UNHCR agency such as in Malaysia. The operation may provide them a second chance at life. This is also demonstrate that Malaysia and the UNHCR are concerned about the refugees' suffering. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
In conclusion, the importance of sustainable development consists of to provide essential human needs such as food, shelter, and water. UNHCR focuses on serving the refugees' welfare and needs by providing all the basic needs in daily life such as clean water, unpolluted air, adequate quantity of food, and quality standard of living. Besides, the second importance refers to agricultural requirement. It is to catch up with growing population in order to improve productivity and reduce high poverty intensity in the area. For instance, further development on agriculture involves the utilization of modern technologies such as tractor, combine, seeder, and reapers, just to name few. Furthermore, the third importance of sustainable development is manage climate change. Natural disasters such as flood, earthquake, and landslide can cause destruction of property, loss of financial resources, and personal injury or illnesses. Hence, UNHCR play proper roles in maintaining environmental sustainability in order to ensure the comfort of refugees' life. In addition, Financial stability. Sustainable development practices to have the ability to create more financially sustainable economies across the globe. Economic relationships with other countries can lead to diversity of cultural ideas and invention of new things that contribute to the national economy. Last but not least, the fifth importance is sustained biodiversity. Unsustainable development and overconsumption practice greatly impact biodiversity. Life ecosystem is designed in such a way that species depend on one another for survival. For instance, plants produce oxygen that human needs for respiration. Humans exhale carbon dioxide that plants need for growth and production. It means that we depend on other living things too in order to survive, such as animals, plants, and environment. That's all from our group today. Thank you for lending your ears and spending your time. Have a nice day.